Hey there, Bruce, and welcome back to the Game of Fortune. Today, we're going to try and get away with murder. So, let's get into that, shall we? First, we need to prove to this detective guy that we are doing it properly, so as to not incriminate ourselves immediately. And I don't know what to pick with that. I assume the body would be the first thing to check if you're doing it legitimately, right? Let's do that. Though I may incriminate myself, because I don't know when to keep my mouth shut. Well, Clyde's pretty good at keeping his mouth shut, but I don't know how to keep my mouth shut. Let's check out Belle's body. Alphonse nodded and then walked up close to Belle's body and stared at the knife. Looks like she got stabbed. Thanks for that, genius. That much is obvious. Can you tell if it's a lethal stab wound? Like if it got her in the heart? Alphonse gently tugged at Belle's outfit and lifted it up to show the skin. It shouldn't have been surprised at his boldness, but I didn't think that he'd start investigating so closely so fast. Doesn't look like it hit the heart, honestly. Only a single stab wound. Didn't even bother to move or adjust the blade much. How can you be so sure? Despite what Hollywood would tell you, it's not that easy to get a clear shot at the heart, at least not for an everyday guy. The heart is pretty safe behind the sternum, ribs. It's got a bunch of tissue keeping it safe as well. Not saying it's impossible, but you probably need a good sense of anatomy and a good sense of strength to get it in a single stab. So she wasn't stabbed multiple times. Doesn't look like it to me. I can't see any other wounds on her body, either around her chest. You might be able to get a good shot at the heart if you stabbed over and over again, but that'd make a huge mess. So you think the killer was trying to prevent getting a bunch of blood on them? Possibly. That or they were able to kill Belle with a single stab and didn't think they needed to even pull the blade out. Even if you miss the heart, you can hit a major blood vessel, cause internal bleeding and kill someone that way. That might be the case here. Alphonse continued checking around Belle's chest and torso area in silence. I didn't want to let him do too much work. I had to show that I was at least attempting to figure things out myself. On that end, it might be good to bring up something interesting. Hey, I noticed something. What? If you're getting stabbed, wouldn't you, try and fight back or something? Belle looks pretty peaceful here, honestly. I mean, her arms and hands look pretty clean. I figured she might have scratched or attacked someone that stabbed her. Unless she was so surprised she didn't see it coming and didn't have time to fight back. Alphonse took a moment to inspect Belle's hands and arms. You got a point. It doesn't look like there's any blood or skin underneath the nails. Arms and hands don't show any signs of trauma either. No scratches, cuts or bruises. Then was she taken by surprise? He was silent again. I hated this, but I couldn't tell if he was thinking or just inspecting every word I said carefully. Possibly. What confuses me most is, even if that were the case, I can't see any attempt to remove the blade or any signs of retaliation. People don't usually like getting stabbed. Getting a single clean stab right at the chest isn't easy. It would make more sense if there were signs that she was restrained or if she'd had injuries showing that she tried to fight back, but... So we just need to explain why she didn't fight back. What if she was asleep? Asleep? His eyes perked up as he looked down at the couch again. Yeah, I can see the possibility that maybe she was asleep on her back. The killer aims the knife right at her chest and then he made a motion of someone thrusting a knife through her. She'd probably have woken up from the pain of it though. Likely flailed around or even fallen off the couch. No signs of restraint, so the killer didn't grab her and just waited for her to die either. Alphonse started combing through Belle's hair. No sign of any injuries on the head either, so she wasn't knocked out or hit with anything. Maybe she's just paralyzed from shock. That would make sense, right? I suppose so. Let me just check a few more things. He opened Belle's eyes. Red. Red eyes? Somewhat bloodshot. Probably because she was drunk. Then he inspected her ears, nose, and opened her mouth. I had to admit that it was kind of impressive he could do this without flinching. See anything interesting in there? Not really. But it's never really about sight. He sniffed her mouth. Seriously? Smells bad though. Like a mix of alcohol and cheese? Guess washing your mouth out with water wasn't enough to get the smell out. Gross. The human body's amazing. And disgusting. But I think that's about all I'm going to get out of this. Let's move on. The state of the lounge? Let's take a look at the lounge. Sure. Got to get a good sweep of the area. I said that, but there wasn't really much to look at. The lounge looked about the same as it normally did. Couches, table, the rugs, plants. Really everything seemed pretty standard. It's pretty clean. Yeah, almost nothing really happened here. That bothers me a bit. Because she was stabbed, you figured that the place would be more of a mess? I figured that if there was a more violent murder that things would be out of place. A chair that was knocked over, pillows thrown about, that kind of thing. But really it's as though nothing big happened at all. Is that common? Well, people usually do struggle and try to make a mess of things when they're about to be killed. Some killers try to clean things up. It ends up looking more unnatural than you'd think. Huh. I guess it's possible our killer could have cleaned up a mess like this, but they'd have to have been fast. So it's not impossible. No, but I'd say it's unlikely. Anyway, there's one more thing I want to check. What's that? Right by the doors. Alphonse walked over to the doors and crouched down. See this? I had to squint, but I could see a small puddle of some orange-yellow muck on the ground. Is that vomit? That's what I would have guessed. This must have been from when I found Belle face down on the ground. I guess she threw up a little before I woke her up. How'd you even notice it? I stepped in it. Oh, sorry. But wait, that means that someone threw up. Right by the doors, too. Odd location, don't you think? Yeah, not really where I'd expect anyone to throw up. What do you think it means? Not sure yet. Gotta take a look at the whole picture before I make assumptions. But someone threw up all the same. There are a few reasons why. So we can just assume that the person that killed her was walking back to their door and threw up out of guilt or because it was gross. Let's not play around with this stuff for long. It's gross. You don't have to tell me twice. We walk back to the center of the lounge. Any items in the lounge? Should we check to see if there are any weird items in the lounge? Yeah, that's a good idea. Don't need to focus on the knife for now. Let's just see if there's anything else around that catches our eye. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is the glass of water on the table. The glass that I brought over here. Maddie doesn't need to know that now. Alphonse crouched down to look at it. Looks like it was partially drunk. You can see a little rim of water where it was filled up to. I guess that's interesting. Anything on it, like lipstick? None that I can see. Belle doesn't wear lipstick then. That's really all there is here? No, we can check other places too. Plenty of hiding spots. Under a couch cushion, under a rug, and a potted plant. Good point. Let's search together. We checked around the lounge quickly and carefully, but didn't come up with anything. Not even a piece of lint. Got to admit that Belle kept her place clean. That's good. It means that any trash or anything else will stand out more. Some might even say that the fact that it's so clean here is a clue in and of itself. Yeah, I see what you mean. Considering how peaceful Belle's death was, it really is kind of a clue. Anyway, we're about done looking for items and stuff, right? Let's check something else out. Alright. I think that should be good enough for a quick sweep of the lounge. Yeah, so now we're going to get to the bathroom? That was the agreed plan, right? I nodded and then walked over to the bathroom with Alphonse and opened it. Devon and Maria waved at us as we left the lounge. Wonder how their investigation went. We'll probably find the same stuff that they did, maybe more. Let's not waste time wondering though. Alright. And here we are at the bathroom. So, where do you want to look first? Not really sure what to check. Probably here. Alphonse walked over toward the sink. The sink? Well, it might still be wet from when Belle was washing out her mouth. Not sure if that's a good enough clue, but let's see if the poison is still here. The what? He opened the medicine cabinet above the sink and pulled out a few boxes. I never noticed that. Well, I didn't really have the time to check around, but still. The heck are these boxes? Drugs and poison, take a look. I picked up one of the boxes. It had a chibi of Belle on it with her holding some kind of white pill in her hand. It read, fast-acting cyanide, kills them quick in 10 minutes or less. She just had this in a medicine cabinet? There were others too. Dream machine for when you need to force yourself to sleep. Bladder buster, a perfect prank medicine to make your buddy sprint to the toilet. Insta-hic, the anti-cure for hiccups because sometimes having hiccups is cute. What the hell? Most of it's just nonsense crap, but the fast-acting cyanide does make me worry. I didn't even know there was anything like that here. It's empty. Wait, seriously? I checked the box again and sure enough, there was nothing inside. Our stab didn't kill her, did it? We stabbed her, but that's not what killed her. Someone poisoned her with cyanide. That's what killed her. Was it always empty? No, there were pills in there before. So someone either got rid of them or hid them. Could Belle have been poisoned? Maybe. It's possible that the stabbing was just used to cover up the poisoning. Or maybe vice versa. He hummed to himself and then shook his head. Hard to say for sure right now. But I think we can figure it out. He seemed to have figured something out. Anyway, let's continue to see if there's anything else in here. Well, there's not much else to see. The bath looks clean. There was nothing under the sink. Alphonse did a quick sweep through the bathroom, checking the potted plant, the bottles, even various washcloths. Guess we're done then. Wait, there's one more thing to check. He walked over to the toilet. Crap, I never did flush away that mess. But I can't exactly stop him from checking. Wait, is that even an issue if he checks? I mean, it's just gross, but it doesn't really matter. At least I hope not. Ugh. I leaned over to look and tried to feign my disgust. Gross. Didn't even bother to flush. That was kind of interesting. You find this stuff interesting? You can look for clues everywhere, even at the bottom of a toilet. More like the top. You know what I'm getting at. Combine this mess with the mess near the doors and you can make for a pretty good case that someone wasn't feeling too hot. The question is, which came first, the toilet or the door? Guess we'll find out when we swap stories later. You mean like, what we're doing with our time? Yeah, honestly, I think we'll find out more that way than through evidence alone. But this helps at least give us ideas for how our stories are meant to go. Already thinking about what happened? Ah, well, to some extent. You are too, aren't you? A little. Not really, but maybe I'll realize something if I keep a close eye on something. Seems we're all... this is all we're gonna find here. Let's move back to the kitchen. Alright, if you say so. Kinda glad. The bathroom doesn't really make me feel all that good. Oh, all done in there? Yep. You're not squeamish, are you, Devon? Me? Nah. I can handle gross stuff. Cooking and cleaning, you see a lot of gross stuff in restaurant bathrooms sometimes. Yikes. Well, just a warning, there's some nasty stuff in there. That bad, huh? I wonder if I overdid it. Alright, thanks for the warning. We're done here. After this, we're gonna take it out and talk it out and vote, right? That's the plan. Cool, see you in a bit then. Devon flashed me a peace sign as she and Maria walked to the bathroom. Alright, I got a good feeling about the kitchen end. Feels like that's where the breakthrough will happen. I'm feeling really confident about that. Just a hunch. Let's hope that this hunch is throwing him off his game. I don't want him to find me out. Ah, the kitchenette where the murder weapon came from. You'll probably notice that right off the bat. Where to start? Got any ideas? You're asking me again? Yeah, why not? I've been leading things a bit, so I'll let you take the reins on this one. No, you haven't really. Thanks. Not really sure that I'm happy about this, but whatever. Let's check the sink. How about we check the sink? My dishwasher instincts are telling me that the key clue is here. Really? Well, I hope so anyway. I checked the sink. There was a wine glass and 2 teacups inside. Key evidence, huh? Well, you never know what you end up finding. Alphonse looked over the cups in the sink again, then he picked them out. Still a little bit of wine in the wine glass, and in the teacups. He dabbed his finger in each one before bringing it to his mouth. Are you sure you had to do that? I can see some residue in there. Well, probably not, but you never know. Any insights? Tastes a bit like apples. Apples? Not too strong or sweet though. It's actually kind of bitter. Well, one of them was anyway. And the other? Tastes weird. Weird? I don't really know how else to explain it. It's got a weird salty taste to it. Maybe vinegar? In tea? Alphonse just shrugged. Some people have weird taste. He spat back into the sink and wiped his mouth. Anyway, that at least gives me an idea for what happened. Huh? The number and types of cups, you can almost see a pattern. Someone drank some wine, 2 people had tea, someone had got some water. Well, maybe not that exact order, but you can at least see how it would work like that. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Belle did mention that someone was being pretty pushy with her about the alcohol. That might explain why there's only 1 glass of wine rather than 2. Anyway, Clue Master, want to check something else out? Yeah, let's move on to something more important. Trash? Let's check the trash. Good idea. You'd be surprised what you can find in the good old trash can. You think that people would learn by now. Disposing of evidence doesn't come easy to most people, and considering where we're at, not a lot of places to discard things. Well, we had a toilet, a sink, a bathtub. I'm sure there's some places you could just make things vanish. Maybe Belle wouldn't let people destroy evidence like that. I imagine she's got to make it fair somehow. I guess. Anyway, I checked the trash can for clues. Really, there wasn't anything immediately noticeable until I looked really deep inside. A collection of small white pills. Hey, check this out. I reached inside and pulled out a handful of pills. Really? Huh? Someone just dumped a bunch of pills in the trash like this? These are probably the missing cyanide pills from the medicine cabinet. Yeah, that makes sense. So why'd they just dump them all here instead of somewhere else? If someone wanted to get rid of them, I can imagine 100 ways to make these not usable. Maybe it's like you said and Belle wouldn't let them. Possible, but... He started sifting through the trash again. I wasn't sure what he was looking for, but he was careful taking out piles of the pills onto the counter, until finally, aha! He showed a capsule that had been split in 2. Huh? Never doubt an investigator's instincts. But a pill that was split in 2, meaning the cyanide was probably taken out and put into something. Then maybe I'm innocent. Maybe I didn't actually kill Belle. Our killer's being really reckless. Well, I doubt they'd expect someone to check all these pills individually. Hiding in plain sight, as they say. Still isn't quite proof that it was used exactly, just proof that someone split open one of the pills. It's possible they spilled it right into the sink or something. I guess so. Still, I never would have expected this. Really makes me wonder what happened in the past rounds. Knives? Why don't we check the knife rack? I really don't want to, but it'd be suspicious if I didn't at least bring it up. There probably won't be much there. Huh? You think so? Well, I mean, there's probably going to be a knife missing. There's not much exciting about that at all. We know a knife's been used after all. Right. I guess he makes a good point. Still, never hurts to be thorough. We walked over toward the knife block in the kitchen. Naturally, there was only one knife missing. The knife that I used to stab Belle. That's the knife that's missing, alright. I figured out that there'd be more clues here. Well, there's a missing knife. As far as I can tell, there hasn't been any food served. So whoever took this used it to stab Belle in the chest. Guess it works well enough for a weapon. When you think murder weapons, a knife tends to be the thing you jump to. I mean, when's the last time that someone got killed with a spoon? That'd be depressing, to say the least. If I died to a spoon, I would just hope the coroner would lie and say that it was a knife. Well, might as well check them all out. See if there's something hidden on them. Alphonse began to pull out the rest of the knives, carefully inspecting them before putting them back in the block. All except for the last one. This one has some powder on it. Or are they crystals? How does something like that end up on a knife? Well, I guess you'd cut into something with that kind of residue on it, like the pill container? The capsule? He put the knife back in the block. Maybe I'll ask Devon about it. Could be sugar or flour or something else. No use fussing over it right now. Alright, I'm just glad we're done dealing with knives. Cabinets. It might take a while, but we should check out these cabinets. Sure, who knows what we'll end up finding. As it turns out, we found a lot. Boxes of Bell-branded food and drinks, mostly. That woman really did like to put her face on just about everything. Huh, there are a lot of boxes of tea in here. Guess she's a tea fanatic. Apple, vanilla, cinnamon, chai, mint. Quite the collection. I guess she knows what she likes. There was one thing that stood out. Hey, there's a bottle of wine here that looks open. Take it out real quick. I did as I was instructed and showed him the bottle. Taste of Vices. Never heard of that brand. Everything here is some weird brand. It's nearly empty. Really? Looks like someone had a good time. Yep. Though considering how long each round was, drinking this much in the span of 10 minutes is a bit much. Looks to be pretty strong alcohol content too. Why would someone want to drink now anyway? Easy answer is that someone wanted to weaken Belle. Someone who's drunk or tipsy would be much easier to kill. I guess that makes sense. So you suspect that whoever used this wine is probably the killer? Not really. But you just said it would make her easier to kill. Exactly. But if you're going to kill someone, getting them drunk seems like a waste of time. Might as well just kill them. You don't even know if Belle's going to get tipsy or drunk in the 10 minutes that you force this stuff down her throat. My opinion? It was probably just someone who was a coward. They probably wanted to make Belle seem weak and helpless so someone after them would end up killing her. Though I guess you could do that by attacking her and just leaving her on the verge of death for someone else to finish off. Honestly, not a bad plan. I mean, I basically fell for it if that's the case. But that's just a theory. Luckily, it's a theory I can more or less confirm once we get together and chat. Makes sense. Good, then I think we're done here. Alright, I'll just put this back. I put the wine back in the cabinet. At least we're done with this. I think we're just about done here. It's time for the finale. The finale? You know, you've been acting a little glum this whole game. Want to get something off your chest? You can't just ask something like that here. Shouldn't I? I mean, you could be Belle's killer. Seems the most obvious question that I'd end up asking you. I guess you make a good point. But can't the same be said for you? Not a chance. How can you act so confident like that? Yeah, I guess it does seem a bit odd for me to say that, huh? Alright, I'll explain myself once we gather up. Just know that you're going to have to speak up yourself sooner or later. After all, we're all counting on one another to be honest. And the liar is going to stick out like a sore thumb. Crap. Has he had my number since the start? Well, I don't think we killed her. We should just be honest about what we did. And then they'll be able to figure it out. I mean, he's good at this shit. He hasn't shown a hint of distrust toward me through all these investigations. What do I do? We gathered back together in the main lounge area. I tried to keep my eyes from wandering toward Belle's corpse. Attention if you can hear this. There's time for you to vote on who my killer is. Though you'll probably need a bit of time to discuss your findings. I'll give you around 10 more minutes to talk things out. Don't waste it, because then it'll be voting time. Good luck and good fortune. Damn mind messages. Oh, didn't anyone else hear that? I think we all heard it. Then it's time to talk things out? Yep, so let's not waste time. I'll start things off. It's pretty important. I suspect that I was the first person to be released from the waiting room. Huh? Wait, how do you know that for sure? Hold on, I trust Al. I want to hear what he has to say. It's actually pretty simple. When I was let out, everything seemed to be in its place. Belle was sitting in the lounge, but I ignored her pretty much. I checked the bathroom and the kitchen, and I could tell you with certainty that all the poisons were there. The wine was untouched. There were no cups or glasses in the sink. I basically did a run of the entire place, so I'd notice if anything was off. And since all those other details that came after, I have to assume that I was first. That makes sense to me, unless you're lying, of course. Hold on. We don't know for sure if that's true. What do you mean? You could just be lying. Anyone could say that they walked around and inspected the place. You might have moved or adjusted things and then put them back afterwards. Some small change that we wouldn't notice. I mean, I guess you could do that. But why would you bother doing any of that? The obvious reason he's lying because he might have had a hand in Belle's death. Are you accusing me? I'm not. I'm just saying that we can't blindly accept you were first because you didn't notice that things being changed. Well, that's what I did. I don't know what else to tell you. But I can prove what I said is true pretty easily. How so? By having the rest of you talk. Look, I said I didn't touch or adjust anything, right? That means that all the changes and adjustments that have been made here were caused by you, Devon and Maria. If we hear what everyone did on their turns, we can match things we've observed currently. This will give us a clue as to who the murderer is. But what if there's something that's not mentioned or accounted for? Wouldn't that mean that you're lying? That's one way to interpret it. Personally, it'd just mean to me that one of you three are lying. Everyone who believes that they didn't have a hand in Belle's death should be happy to talk about what they did and what they saw on their turn. He sure is putting a lot of pressure on us to tell the truth when he could be lying himself. Anyway, I've said my piece. Who wants to go next? I think I should go. Oh, volunteering? Well, if Alphonse is telling the truth and went first, then I think I probably went second. And why is that? Alright, let me just tell you what happened when it was my turn. After I was let out, I saw Belle sitting on the couch and she looked kind of bored. Everything looked clean and I didn't see any signs that someone else had been in the room. So I thought that I was first actually. Anyway, I kind of figured that if I was going to go first, I might try and make things easier for people after me. What do you mean by that? Well, I asked Belle if she wanted to have a drink. You asked her to have a drink. I figured if I could get her drunk, she'd be easier for someone else to kill. I mean, I'm sure as I wasn't going to do it, especially if I thought that I was the first one up. Makes sense. We did promise one another that we wouldn't kill if we could help it. At first she was actually pretty hesitant about drinking, but I kept pressing her to drink some wine I found in one of the cabinets. After enough prodding, she eventually started drinking. Normally I'm not that pushy, but if it meant that I'd survive, then I could afford to be a bit aggressive. Wow, how much did you get her to drink? I got her just a glass at first, but as soon as she took one sip, she just sort of went wild with it. Can you go into more detail? She was acting like she was drunk after just one glass of wine. Then she started drinking straight out of the bottle. It was honestly kind of funny to watch, but also kind of annoying. Yeah, I bet that as a drunk, she must have been a real pain to deal with. Well, yeah, but she wouldn't answer any of my questions. Questions? Yeah, I figured that if I wet her lips a little, that she might end up talking about how this place worked. You know, get her drunk and have her run her mouth. But all she did was bark orders at me. I want tea, Devon. Wash this bad taste out of my mouth. I hate this. I used to be able to enjoy alcohol. Well, it's all my stupid brother's fault. Nonsense like that. Sorry you had to go through that. And then, when my turn ended, I had to pry the damn wine bottle out of her hand. Why do that? I was afraid that if she drank the whole bottle, she'd get so damn drunk she'd pass out and hit her head on something. And I didn't want to be indirectly blamed for her death like that. So I took the glass and bottle and put it away and told her to stay put on the couch. Did that work? Sort of. She still kind of followed me around, but I was able to put the glass in the sink and the wine back in the cabinet. After that, I just went back to my waiting room. Well, that does explain the wine bottle and the wine glass, and why Belle was drunk. Why are we letting that slip? So you saw Belle drunk? Shit. Well, Devon did say that she saw Belle... She basically saw Belle drunk. Stands to reason she was drunk the whole time after that, right? Damn, it's only a matter of time until I have to tell my story. I mean, she was drunk, that much is a fact. But I don't want them to use that knowledge against me. Then I think I should go next. Unless you want to go, Clyde. Yeah, we should definitely go next. No, you go ahead. I don't have a story ready yet. Sweet, I'm going to jump off Devon. I think that I probably had my turn right after hers. How do you know? Well, for starters, Belle was drunk right as I popped out. She was leaned up against Devon's door. At least I think it was Devon's door. And the minute she spotted me, was like, I want tea, I want tea, I want tea. I've never seen Belle plastered before, but I could smell the wine off her breath and she was all wobbly. So first thing I did was sit her down on the couch, but she just kept asking for tea over and over again. She's like a spoiled brat when she's drunk, I guess. Anyway, I didn't know where the tea was, so I asked her and she said, Cabinet. and she pointed to the cabinet in the kitchenette. So I went over there, saw the nearly empty bottle of wine, as well as a bunch of packets of tea. I asked Belle what kind she wanted, and she said the apple one was fine. So I made her some tea. I'm finding it weird you were just thinking about getting her some tea and not killing her. You didn't think that maybe you might be the last person up on the list? Well, of course I thought about it, but killing someone that's helpless and weak like that just rubs me the wrong way. I wouldn't be able to look Belle in the eye and just strangle her, stab her or something like that. Could have hit her in the back of the head with a frying pan. This ain't a cartoon now. Just saying. Anyway, the point is that I made some apple tea for Belle and me. I figured that it would help her mellow out before the game was over. Doesn't tea dehydrate you? A single cup ain't gonna do that to you. I mean, it's mostly water. Yeah, I was trying to do her some good. So you gave her some tea and then what? Then nothing, we just chatted. Or I tried to, but she ordered me around and to make her more tea each time she finished her cup. She kept saying that she wanted her own tea or something like that. I just kept getting her apple tea and she kept downing it. Then my turn ended and I brought the cups back over to the sink. And then you went back to your waiting room. Yep, though Belle was being a bit clingy, holding onto my arms as I tried to leave. If she was so pushy earlier, I might have found it kind of cute. If she wasn't, sorry. But that's the end of that. I had to shoo her off even with all her begging. Well, that just leaves you, Clyde. I know too damn well. With the way all the other stories are set up, I'm going to either look like a liar or fishy as hell. That's why you should have gone first, or second, or third. I say we be honest. Because it seems really unlikely that our stab killed her. Belle's got this damn knife in her, and no one's got an explanation for it. Well, no one except me. I could see all their eyes waiting for an explanation. Either one they could accept, or one they could drill into for being wrong. But would it be so bad to confess? Sure, I'd probably die, but Devon would be alive. She wouldn't have to worry about getting things wrong. And she'd be with Alphonse and Maria. Honestly, not a bad set of people to be with. If I took the selfish route and tried to go alone, I'd have to deal with the guilt of killing them and lying to them. Sure, I'd bring them back. I could use my wish to revive them all if I won. But what would they think at the moment? Though they pushed me into this. Any of them could have tried to kill Belle, but I was the person that had to do it. It was me. I had to do it. So what do I do? What the hell do I do? Do I confess, or do I try to make a reasonable lie? No, I can't do it. I just can't lie to them. I have to be honest. This is the best option. Speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I agree. It is the best option, because I don't think we did it. That way, at least Devon can make it out of here alive. Be brave. Be brave. Once I speak out, it'll be easier. I killed Belle. The words sucked all the air out of the room. Even Alphonse, who I thought suspected me, seemed a little stunned. What? No you didn't. You're just saying things. Calm down, let's talk things over before you say nonsense like that. Yeah, I mean, who goes and confesses to something like that? I mean, I figured you might have stabbed her, but are you sure that you killed her? Of course he didn't. Clyde wouldn't throw his life away. I'm not saying that he's throwing it away, but maybe he did what he did to protect you. Shut up, he wouldn't. Clyde said, you said that you wouldn't kill if you didn't have to. Then he must have thought he had to. That's the only thing that makes sense. But that's... I'm sorry, Devon. I just thought that... Stop. That was the last voice I thought I'd hear trying to cut into the conversation. Tell us what you did on your turn. Don't leave out any of the details. But I don't want us making mistakes because of a single confession. You want to speak the truth? Speak the whole truth. Yeah, maybe we'll find something out. Fine. I took a deep breath and recalled everything that happened. When I left my room, I saw Belle face down on the floor right in front of the waiting room doors. I tried to wake her up, and when I did, she looked sick. Figured that she was drunk, and when she managed to mouth out that she needed to go to the bathroom, I took her there and she threw up in the toilet. Ah, that explains that. After I made her wash her mouth out with water, then I put her on the couch. She was being pushy, asking for tea to cleanse the bad taste in her mouth. What was she asking for? Probably tea. Yeah, it was tea, but it was a specific kind of tea. Oh, fuck, after almond tea. It was almond tea, but I'm going to save anyway. Right? Almond tea? Almond tea. I'm pretty sure it was almond tea. Almond tea? Yeah, she said she wanted almond tea. That's strange, there wasn't any almond tea in the cabinet. Maybe someone added almond extract. I didn't see anything like that. Then where'd she get the idea of almond tea? Maybe she was just drunk. No, wait, she asked for more almond tea. As if she'd already had it before. And then she was disappointed when I didn't get it to her later. Does cyanide taste like almonds? Alphonse brow furrowed, sorry. Continue on then. Alright. After that, she said she saw each of you. I thought that she meant that she'd already had a round with each of you, so I thought I didn't have a choice. I went to the kitchen, grabbed a knife from the knife block, got a glass and filled it with water, then I walked back to the lounge. Made Belle drink some of the water and... Actually, I think she complained about something after that. About the drink not being tea? Well, yeah, but there was something else. What was it again? Save again. It was that her head, stomach, and chest hurt. She said her head, stomach, and chest hurt. That's what happens when you drink way too much. I guess that could make sense. Is it really that normal? I mean, usually you get hangovers after a long night of drinking, not like a few minutes afterwards. Maybe they were just symptoms of alcohol poisoning. I've seen some people have really bad time when they drink too much, especially if you drink too much in a short amount of time. Did she chug through that bottle of wine? She did chug through that bottle of wine pretty quickly. Maria, did you notice Belle acting like that when it was your turn? Well, not really. I mean, she didn't really seem all that sick, but maybe it took a while for the alcohol to really affect her. Well, that's something to keep in mind for later then. I think what'll be important is what happens last. Right. After she finished drinking, she talked a bit and then passed out on the couch. I tried to wake her up a few times, but she didn't even budge. Totally out of it, huh? Yeah, and then that's when I pulled out the knife that I had and aimed it over her chest and plunged it into her chest. Yeah. Stupid. Why the hell would you do that? Why the hell did you have to go and do that? What choice did I have? I was the last person to go. If I didn't kill Belle, then we were all gonna die. I couldn't just let you die. But there could have been something else. Devon, I get you want Clyde to survive this, but there wasn't much that he could have done. Honestly, we should be thanking him for being honest and having the guts to save the rest of us. You want me to thank him for throwing his life away? You could thank him for saving all of ours. It takes a lot of courage to admit something like this. Damn it. I'm sorry, I wish I didn't have to do it, but I just couldn't let you die. I couldn't. Quick question for you, Clyde. Huh? What happened after you stabbed Belle? What happened after? A better question to ask might be, what was Belle's reaction to being stabbed? Oh yeah, I see what you mean. She didn't react. I'm not even going to save. She didn't do anything, because she was already dead. Huh? I remember the knife going into her, but there wasn't any kind of reaction. No scream, no gasping, not even a twitch of the body. I see. That's not normal, is it? Even if you passed out drunk, I imagine you'd wake up if someone stabbed you, right? Or at least like flinch or have some bodily reflex. I agree. Something's weird about what happened. Assuming he's telling the truth. Why would I lie at this point? I don't know, maybe he just forgot. I didn't want to think about Belle screaming. Might have been traumatic. Maybe, but I'm pretty sure I'd remember something like a scream. So then the real question is, what does it mean? Anyway, once that was done, I went back into the waiting room. And that was the end of that. And with that, we need to wrap this one up here because we're out of time for today. Looks like this one's going to run for a while, this investigation. But I do vaguely remember thinking it strange that she didn't react at all when we stabbed her. Even if you stabbed her straight in the heart, she would react. But you wouldn't die instantaneously. So I'm guessing Maria did it, right? It seems most likely to me. It was either Maria or Devon, but I think Devon would, knowing that we're admitting to it, Devon would admit to it to protect us if that was the case, right? So it has to be Maria. Has to be. Anyway, we'll see you next time, I suppose. Thanks for watching, Preston. I'll see you then.